Alright, video time. Yay. Walk and talk, present day. Yes, and I have to bring up To Be Serious, but I'm really not going to talk about her or her genitalia, or her brain. The argument is really just a defense of my position, and to get these piles of mud and shit that these assholes keep trying to throw on top of my position, which is just so irritating. So it deals with this idea of altruism and evolution, the idea of intelligence and evolution, the idea of culture and evolution, and the fact that people have blended these things together, and it's just idiotic. Evolution is a significant platform theory. All right, it's a description of our origin that's informative. It tells you something about what the nature of life is, what the nature of our disposition is as things, as vessels. We get hungry, we get horny, we have an emotional psychology that is genetically disposed. It functions, it's built out of that 4 billion years of evolution. Now the catch with human beings is the evolution, the genetic, the code, the physical disposition, evolution ends. Where with all other animals, some other animals, many other animals, except for mammals, mostly, it's all genetic. Even their psychology is genetically controlled. Their whole mentality is genetically controlled. And there's only maybe a slight amount of space within their whole composition that can be augmented through their personal experience to change their behavior. So basically a bee is a bee is a bee is a bee. I mean, they're all just bees. They're all mechanically pretty much the same thing. And they've been doing the same thing for hundreds of millions of years. Now, animals like humans or other mammals change their behavior depending on their environment. Sometimes radical changes in behavior. Because a larger portion of a human is not biologically dictated. The biology disposes it to a certain proclivity. It still motivates it by these, it still possesses these desires that are built in, but how those desires manifest themselves, how those needs manifest themselves, can be satisfied in entirely divergent, incredibly divergent ways. So I argue that, especially with intelligence, or substantially because of this capacity to do modeling, logical modeling, vocabulary, learning, years of learning, and modifying our character as well as our understanding, our thinking process, which I guess is our character. That's completely mutable. It's all about nurture. It's all about what you're exposed to. If you're exposed to no education and no culture, you will be a selfish beastie. You won't be somebody most people would want to live with, or eat with, or even sleep with. All right, but you're not going to do any of those things in some kind of civilized, decent, efficient manner. You're going to do it in a selfish manner, which most civilized people would find abusive and imposing, ignorant. And then we can see that even if you add the education and the cultural maturation of a human 2,000 years ago, that even that human might be somebody who might have habits you might find pretty obnoxious. They take a bath once a month. The kinds of things like that just might you might find a little bit irritating, because they wouldn't have your sophistication, your advantage of understanding. They wouldn't have it, so they couldn't understand exactly that, if they sneeze in your food, they might give you a cold. There's some kind of simple thing like that. They just wouldn't have knowledge. They would act like a child acts. And, they'll stick their fingers in places they shouldn't be, and then put them in other places they shouldn't be. And they'll do all kinds of things that you as an intelligent creature would say, oh, fuck, that's stupid. So anyway, so this need for these biological types, these educated college, Cambridge types, to somehow make the genetics do something it's not doing. The genetics is not controlling how you think. It's controlling the fact that you do think. That's all. The genetics gives you a bucket called brain. And what gets put in that bucket can be anything. It can be Ayatollah Khomeini loony, or it can be Albert Einstein. That's the truth of it. And it just depends on how you raise the thing, what you're going to end up with. How you educate the thing, what you end up with. I mean, Gandhi wasn't a product of something called love. He was the product of something called education. I mean, he was highly educated. So he got a broad understanding of social dynamics, of what it is to be a human and to be a culture and to be a civilization. That is what made Gandhi Gandhi, was an understanding of the end game, an understanding of the mechanisms of human psychology. He was a political animal made by understanding, by an elegant understanding of how to fight revolutionary war. So where else can we go with this? So anyway, this whole argument that I am somehow arguing that the human problem is some sort of violence problem in and of itself is stupid. That's not my argument. My argument is that violence is created by want, by need, by a notion of trespass, by a notion of possession. It is mine, you can't touch it, I'm going to kill you, you fucker. That's what it's bred by. And it's bred by an ignorance that somehow you can solve the problem by, swatting the fly. That if you don't understand that the fly is a family of 1 billion flies, then swatting them will not solve your problem. Then you're doomed to failure. And so to me, my argument is this is all about controlling the natural mechanism, which is to fight. I mean, it's just ludicrous to say something else is the natural mechanism. And so these people, because they're they want to make it sound like we have a native disposition somewhere hidden in our genetic code that says I'm going to be a selfless, loving, generous, honest, unbigoted, unprejudiced, unnepotistic, unnationalistic, ungang individual. And that's preposterous. It's as rare as the lion who lies down with the lamb. Okay? It's not the natural impulse, it's the aberrant impulse. It's as normal in terms of biology as a man fucking a dog. Holy shit. I hope that wasn't my house. Fucking hunters. Ooh. Anyway. Even that soul psychology. What is that? Right? That's the natural human at work, right? Ego gratification, completely built out of an ignorance, a dumb, stupid psychology that doesn't appreciate the fact that even if the animal is doomed, you're either part of the solution or you're part of the problem. And that's a human who obviously doesn't understand what it is to be not part of the problem. Because nature's going to screw it over, I'll screw it over first. I mean, that's ignorant. And so it's ignorance is the problem. All right, it isn't, but we have to acknowledge that it's ignorance in the context of a selfishly motivated individual. And then they keep using this word altruism as if, it's so imposing too. Like, I have to hear you murdering animals. I mean, they ought to force them to put silencers on their fucking guns. I really don't want to hear, another murder committed. Fuckers. Blow it to bits with your little shotgun pellets. Fucking cunt faggots. Oh, sorry. But damn. Pussies. Well, there's got to be a better word. Sissies? I don't know. There's got to be a word for the weaselly little nutless fuckers. Anyway. I said sorry, right? You heard that, you fuckers? That's the other thing I'm sick of. I'm sick of these assholes. You say the word faggot once or something, and they all go fucking hysterical like you got a philosophy of beating up gays or something. I mean, goddamn, you fanatic lunatics. You reactionary assholes. I mean, this is what it's really about, right? That's our native function, is to be reactionary. We react emotionally. Damn it, people. And the only saving grace we have is the fact that we can understand that we're emotional animals, and we can temper that reaction and say, okay, I will say a derogatory word at the person, but I won't punch them in the face. And I certainly won't rip their motherfucking heads off and eat their eyeballs, even though I have an impulse to do that. Yeah, because we're intelligent, because we understand the context. Unlike an animal who knows nothing about life and death, knows nothing about what's really taking place, what game they're really playing. It's like we're playing this board game, and you can either understand that the dice have poison spikes on them, that the board squares are quicksand, that it's all covered in like AIDS virus or something. Or you can have some lollipop bullshit notion that it's all licorice and gummy bears and, fairy princesses. Ugh. Anyway, back to the subject. So again, evolution stops with the creation of a bucket. Alright? That's where it stops. Biological evolution stops with the creation of an animal capable of being educated, but has a disposition that is reactionary, emotional, that is by nature nepotistic, that is, it loves its own more than it loves the rest of the world, nationalistic or groupistic, which means it loves its clan, its relatives, its connected affiliations, its race. I mean, I should just separate that one as another one. So it's nationalistic, it's gangistic, it's statistic, it's home teamistic, and then it's racistic. Any distinction it can make, it ends up making. And we've seen that play out in history in every circumstance where there was an opportunity for a little bit of separation between people. Well, the human race basically killed its own brother. The Cain and Abel thing has been played out a million times. Well, a few thousand times. The Native Americans were the Europeans' brother, literal brother or sister. That's a fact. Okay? And they killed them. Like they were dirt. And it's been, like I said, it's played out all over the world. And that's our nature. Our nature is shit. Alright? That's all. It's not a big deal to admit. We're not bees. We're not self-sacrificing. We're not robotically intended to be generous and giving. We're robotically disposed to be these negative things. of selfish, nepotistic, nationalistic, gangistic, teamistic, clanistic, all those isticses. That's the native disposition, but with even a little bit of intelligence put in our bucket, the empty bucket that nature has given us by accident, through language, we can understand what we are, see the vice built into us, and merely overcome it. And say, okay, sometimes I'll react, I'll say a name, I'll do something else, and it'll be wrong, because it would be petty, or revengeful, or emotionally based. And so, yeah, okay, I'll control those impulses. I'll control my see the book cover judgments. I'll control my native instinct to just punch him in the face, pull out his eyes, and eat them. Yeah, I won't do that. And we can do that so easily by just understanding. And if we understand a lot, then we can do the Gandhi thing and understand international politics, and we can understand, all the mechanisms that are creating this tension, what exactly about our dispositions or behavior is offending other people. We can understand that veiling an insult it doesn't make the insult go away. Just like a silly Muslim thinking, I'll put a veil over her head, and then nobody will know it's a woman. Like they're that stupid. Come on. Innuendo. By the way. Yeah, so that's what brains do. They have in their bucket little strategies of trickery and deception, unfortunately. So you can either put good shit in the bucket, which is try to control the native disposition, try not to be an emotional animal, try to be a thinking animal. And thinking is just so simple. That is where the argument just gets so utilitarian obvious. And this is where they start to revolt. Because they really don't want to hear about utilitarian truth. They don't want to hear that there's a collective of consciousnesses that need consideration. That your bucket is working for all of them, should be, logically understanding that all those other bucket holders are just as valuable as you. And you can't win this game by eating them, or fucking them, or, well, it's the wrong way to put it. Some of them you can fuck. Mutually, consensually. But the point is, you can't exploit and win. You can't feed, all right, out of a trough made out of your own kind. Something like that. You've got to be able to get this. It just isn't that complicated. All right? A 1 can't stay a 1 if it consumes 4 other 1s. That means it's 1 minus 3, which is now minus 2. And so the 1 becomes a minus 2 if he eats 3 other 1s. Fuck. Anyway, so again, people ought to quote people honestly, in context. They ought to argue with what the person actually says, not with the crap they put in their mouth, and the mud, and the vomit, and the puke they throw on their face. This is such bullshit. I've never argued that our native disposition is controlling us. I'm arguing that human brains are full of bullshits. Absolute bullshit. Lies, delusions of grandeur. Whether it be a god or whether it be reverence for a DNA molecule, their ego owns what goes in the bucket. And that's what's broken. Change the ideas through communication, we win. Leave the human asshole to sit there and wait for him to genetically grow an altruism gene. Yeah, it's never going to happen. So anyway, idiots. What the hell are they doing? Holy shit. They already got a swimming pool. So, I don't know. ice skating rink? I don't know. Anyway, till next time and such. And so forth and whatnot. Look, a piece of litter. Oh, see, my bucket says pick up the litter. It's a save coupon. And dispose of it properly. There's my tar repairs. Tar. Nope, they had to put a little more sand down there, I see. That looks pretty good. Anyway, till next time. And such and so forth.